Truly Madly Deeply is a song by Australian pop band Savage Garden, released as the third single from their self-titled debut album in March 1997. Written by bandmates Darren Hayes and Daniel Jones, the song is a reworking of a song called Magical Kisses that the pair wrote together long before recording began on their debut album. It was used as the main theme from the soundtrack of the 1998 film Music from Another Room, starring Jude and Gretchen. As of the 55th anniversary of Billboard Truly Madly Deeply is ranked 35th best song of all time. The song reached number 1 in Australia in 1997 and in the United States the following year. 2 music videos were filmed for the track, one for its original Australian release, and another for the international market shot in Paris. Versions. There are 2 distinct versions of the song. The first was made available on the Australian version of the group's album, whereas the second version appears on the release of the album in Europe and America. This version was composed in 1996, and features a drum machine track instead of the more acoustic-sounding music featured on the Australian version. The European version also features on the group's greatest hits compilation, Truly Madly Completely. Music video. 2 music videos were made for the song. The original Australian video, which presents Darren Hayes with long hair, features the band in a white room with several other people. Darren is on a red sofa singing the song while Daniel performs on the piano. The video used for the European market, which presents Darren Hayes with short hair, was filmed in Paris. It was directed by Adolfo Doring. The video depicts the story of 2 lovers, a young man and a lady, who have been separated by circumstances. The woman arrives in Paris, possibly at Gare du Nord station, in search of her lover, who is also waiting for her. He is wandering in various places within the Montmartre area, including the Soleil de la Butte restaurant. In between the scenes involving the 2 lovers, Darren Hayes can be seen walking around Paris, in locations such as the Place de la Concorde and the Jardin des Tuileries. He is singing, thereby acting as a narrator to the story involving the 2 lovers. Towards the end of the video, Hayes enters a small concert hall where Daniel Jones is playing guitar. Shortly afterwards, the young lady manages to find her lover, right in the center of Paris. They are both filled with emotion on seeing each other again. The video ends with Hayes and Jones coming out of the concert hall, and coming across the 2 lovers who are rejoicing in their reunion. Chart success. The song was a major and sustained success in the US beginning in 1997. Entering the Billboard Hot 100 Singles chart at number 26 on December 6, 1997, it peaked at number 1 for 2 weeks in January 1998 and lingered for a full year on the chart. The song spent half a year in the top 10 alone. It hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 Airplay chart and number 2 on the Hot Adult Top 40 Tracks chart. It also went top 10 on the Rhythmic Top 40 chart. On the Billboard Top 40 Mainstream chart, the song hit number 1 for 1 week on January 31 before dropping to number 2 as Celine Dion assumed the top spot with the theme to the hit film Titanic, My Heart Will Go On. Savage Garden's single held at number 2 for 10 weeks, before returning to the number 1 spot again the week of April 18. The song eventually set a record for the most weeks of any single in history on the US Hot Adult Contemporary chart. In 1998 the song logged 11 weeks at number 1 on this chart, but its full chart span lasted 123 weeks. That record would stand for just under 2 years, when another of the group's ballads spent its 124th week on the chart. The song was I Knew I Loved You, from the album Affirmation. After leaving the main Adult Contemporary chart, the song entered the Hot Adult Contemporary Recurrence chart where it charted for another 202 weeks. The song was so popular that it re-entered Billboard's Hot Singles Sales chart in March 2002 and a euro 4.5 years after its release again became a US Top 30 bestseller, remaining on the chart until late July 2002. The original version logged its final week on the Hot Adult Contemporary Recurrence chart on June 17, 2006. In 2013, the song was listed at number 35 on Billboard Euro's all-time top 100. The song also reached number 1 in their home country of Australia and in Canada. Savage Garden's single hit number 2 in Norway, Sweden, Austria and Ireland, and went top 10 in France, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Belgium and the UK, where it peaked at number 4. In 1998, the song was certified a gold single in France, for sales of 200,000 copies. In May 2001, the Australasian Performing Right Association, as part of his 75th anniversary celebrations, named Truly Madly Deeply as one of the top 30 Australian songs of all time. Track listings. Australia Standard, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.38, Promises €4 4.11, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.35, Limited Edition, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.38, Promises €4 4.11, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.35, I Want You, I Want You. UK CD1, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.38, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.38, This Side of Me €4 4.09, Love Can Move You €4 4.47, CD2, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.38, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.35, I Want You €3 3.52, I'll Bet He Was Cool €3 3.57, cassette, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.38, I Want You €3 3.52. North America Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.37, I'll Bet He Was Cool €4 4.58. Europe CD1, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.37, I'll Bet He Was Cool €4 4.58, CD2, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.38, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.38, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.35, This Side of Me €4 4.09, Love Can Move You €4 4.47. Release history. Chart performance. Sandy and Junior version. The song was covered in 1998 by Brazilian brother-sister singing duo Sandy and Junior. The Portuguese-language version, No Fundo do Cora Picavolta Poundo, was released as the third single from the teens' eighth album, Era Uma Vez. The album was certified diamond in Brazil in 1999 by the Brazilian Association of Discs Producers for sales of over 1.8 million copies in Brazil alone. The album was their last for Polygram Records before moving to Universal Music Group. Cascada version. German Eurotrance group Cascada covered Truly Madly Deeply on the album Every Time We Touch and released it as the second single in the UK and Germany. Although the album version of the song is a ballad, there is also a trance version of the song more in keeping with their typical style, which is the main single version. Both versions are featured on the UK edition of the album. First released in the United States exclusively in the iTunes Store on February 27, the US physical release was March 13, 2007. Track listing UK CD single Part 1, Truly Madly Deeply €2 2.57, Every Time We Touch €3 3.19, UK CD single Part 2, Truly Madly Deeply €2 2.57, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.14, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.34, Truly Madly Deeply €5 5.03, Truly Madly Deeply €8 8.32, Truly Madly Deeply €6 6.49, Truly Madly Deeply €6 6.07, German 12-inch single, Truly Madly Deeply €6 6.00, Truly Madly Deeply A. €8 8.29, German CD single, Truly Madly Deeply €2 2.55, Truly Madly Deeply €3 3.36, Truly Madly Deeply €3 3.27, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.12, Truly Madly Deeply €3 3.18, US 12-inch single, Truly Madly Deeply €2 2.58, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.12, Truly Madly Deeply €3 3.38, Truly Madly Deeply €2 2.58, Truly Madly Deeply €8 8.30, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.34, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.35, Truly Madly Deeply €4 4.58, Truly Madly Deeply €6 6.48, Truly Madly Deeply €6 6.00, Australian single 2007, Truly Madly Deeply €3 3.30, Truly Madly Deeply €2 2.54, Truly Madly Deeply a Euro 414, Truly Madly Deeply a Euro 307, Truly Madly Deeply, Truly Madly Deeply a Euro 503, Truly Madly Deeply a Euro 435, Truly Madly Deeply a Euro 649, Truly Madly Deeply a Euro 830, other remixes, Truly Madly Deeply a Euro 615, Truly Madly Deeply, Truly Madly Deeply. Chart performance The Cascader single entered the UK singles chart at number 17 solely on downloads and peaked at number 4 the following week, after its physical release. In Ireland, it remained in the top 4 for 4 weeks. Release and track listings References. Chart data, Cascader. Worldwide chart positions. Retrieved February 7, 2007. External links, Truly Madly Deeply at Music Brains, full lyrics of this song at Metro Lyrics.